Tiffany here with Years of Years, and it's time for This Day in Disney. And today is May 21st, and starting off on this day in 1933, Wolfgang Reitherman, or better known as Woolie Reitherman, at the age of 33, was hired at the Disney Studios in Hollywood, California. He is known as one of Walt Disney's 9 old men. He was an animator, a director, and a producer. So some of the works that he worked on, the Silly Symphonies, the Funny Little Bunnies, he's responsible for that. He worked on the band concert with others. Music Land, he animated the Slave of the Mirror, the Magic Mirror in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. That was a pretty iconic moment. And he also was responsible for some of the scenes with Timothy Q. Mouse in Dumbo and the Headless Horseman in Sleepy Hollow. So he animated that. Really cool stuff. Much more that he animated. But during World War II, he actually went and served in the Air Force and left the Disney company with a lot of Disney employees actually left to go serve in World War II. And he actually earned a Distinguished Flying Cross. He flew over many foreign countries, so he came back a hero and came back to the Disney company. And he actually started directing after that. He directed The Jungle Book. He also directed The Aristocats. Love that too. Robin Hood and The Rescuers. I love The Rescuers, I know. We'll talk about it another time, but that's, I just really love The Rescuers. I think it's adorable. And he directed much more. What's really neat that I found out about him is that he had 3 sons, and they all ended up being Disney characters. So Bruce, Richard, and Robert. And they voiced for Mowgli, Christopher Robin, and Wart in the Sword and the Stone. So he passed away in 1985, unfortunately, from a car accident. He was 75, and then he was named a Disney legend, of course, in 1989. So Woolie Reitherman, you will hear that name. I'm sure he's got one of his windows on Main Street. And, you know, look in the credits when you're watching the cartoons, the movies, and you'll start to see some of these 9 old men and other Disney Imagineers. This was always a group effort. There was no I working at Walt Disney Studios or Walt Disney Company, except the one I, which was, of course, Walt himself. So you have to work together in that company, and it's still that way today, I'm sure. Next up on this day, I had a lot of fun checking this out. In 2015, not too long ago, Paint the Night and Disneyland Forever debuted at Disneyland Park, and this was part of the 60th birthday bash for Disneyland. So more celebrations would actually happen the next day, but on the night before they had the parade and the fireworks, and I loved watching Paint the Night. It, of course, really reminded me of the Electric Light Parade, and even though the music's very different, they still kept Baroque hoedown in it, the music of Electric Light Parade. So I really like how it's still in there. You can hear it. This parade, I was just shocked by it. I haven't seen it before till I watched it on an HD1 on YouTube. So go check that out if you haven't seen it. If you have, of course you know how good this parade is. Really amazing floats, all lit just like with the Electric Light Parade's floats, but some real different ones. Really neat. I mean, right off the bat you have Peter Pan on a big float, but Wendy's right in front, or not Wendy, Tinkerbell, and she's flying. Basically, a pole is holding her flying, and you know this parade is exciting if Tinkerbell's already flying. And all the characters are just so neat. They have like a giant genie and a giant Lumiere, and what was the other one? Oh, right, a Tigger all together. And, you know, they're just rolling around. I think the people working them, they look like they have wheels on them. Maybe on the float part. I don't think the people had wheels on them. But it was really cool. Then there's you see like a slinky float that turns into a Buzz Lightyear thing, like the rings on Slinky get real like saucer-like, and they're all lit up and really neat. And Buzz is there, and of course Woody's on there as well, and Jessie's on the ground waving at everyone. And then next up is the Belle float. Oh wow, from Beauty and the Beast. That float was so beautiful, and all the characters on the ground with their lit big poofy dresses, but they're, you know, obviously just all lights. It's amazing. And then toward the end you have the Fab Five, like Goofy, Donald, Minnie on their own little, you know, cart lit globe. I'm having a hard time explaining. You're gonna have to watch it because the visuals of it are really cool, especially at night, obviously. And then last off, Sorcerer Mickey with a really neat float, and the visuals on that's all I can do to describe what's happening, and that's not good enough. So go check it out. It's really, really cool. And then that night they had the fireworks show, which was Disneyland Forever. I'm watching this. I really loved it. It just gave me all the firework feels. The fireworks shows, I think, make all of us really emotional. So today when I was watching this, I just got more emotional than I expected, missing the fireworks shows at the park and hearing the Disney songs. And oh, the Tangled songs always get me. So it was a good experience though. I love the projection on the Disneyland castle for this. I felt the visual projection was really clear and precise, and you could really see the different, you know, scenes when they go from starting out with Peter Pan and Tinkerbell. Again, Tinkerbell at Disneyland. Wow, she actually is flying around not completely around the castle, but sort of back and forth. And unlike the Magic Kingdom one that's just a straight shot. And I so enjoyed this Tinkerbell. Someday I hope we'll do a whole little episode on Tinkerbell, because the flying Tinkerbell at the parks has the original has a great story, and I hope to share that with you in the future. But I couldn't believe how much this Tinkerbell was flying around. It was really cool. But of course they started out with a tribute to Walt Disney, and that I loved as well. And the visuals and fireworks, and there's a big bursting Mickey after they're talking about Walt. It's just perfect. The whole show was really cool. I liked all the movies that they chose, and the music for it was really, really special. So toward the end, some of the lyrics were like, "The magic will never end," and that just tugged at my heartstrings again. And I really believe that if we do our part, the magic will never end, you know? But we just have to make it happen, everyone together, teaching and showing each other about the magic of Disney and what we grew up with and why it is the way that it is, like why it's so magical, sharing our best moments with children and young people so they can go and create the same things in the future. And then also live the magic. Love that, and I've talked about that before. It doesn't just have to happen at the parks. You can live the magic in your daily life and make your everyday magical and special. And then lastly, Jiminy has this last line at the end that I just really thought was pertinent right now, and it says, "All of this is yours forever." And it just, I don't know, it spoke through the the TV to me and kind of just hit me, and that was what, you know, Walt intended, and that's exactly what we can have forever is these parks and this magic, and we can create it and make it wonderful for our families and our future children and grandchildren, and it is ours forever. And so with that, I'll end this day in Disney, and I hope you go create magic for yourself today and have a lot of fun, and we'll see you next time.